Hello, everybody. Uh, Here is an interview with Coach Dan John. Dan John is a famous American strength coach who has spent his life with one foot in the world of lifting and throwing and another foot in academia. He was an All American discus thrower. He has also competed at the highest levels of Olympic lifting, weightlifting, Highland Games, and Weight Pentathlon, an event in which he holds the American record. Uh, Dan spends his work life blending weekly workshops and lectures with full time writing. He's also a senior lecturer of strength and conditioning in St. Mary's University, Twickenham, London. Uh, he has written more than 11 books on fitness and lifting. In this, he's also very famous to have been invented the
Can you tell a little bit background about yourself and your career, please?
Well, I hate this question, but I'm the youngest of six. Grew up in a place called South San Francisco. Very athletic and military family, and sports was always kind of the way out of where we lived, and so I got involved. Started lifting weights in 1965 when I was little, and took it seriously about 1971. And then by the end of that decade, I was a very good discus thrower, and I started coaching then, and I've been coaching since 1979. And my dog wants to come in. Come on in. All right. Uh, but yeah, that's basically the short story. That's good enough.
Okay. So, what made you step into strength and conditioning career?
Huh. Well,
Since you're an athlete?
yeah, I mean, I was an athlete, and my senior year, Coach Mon, my track and field coach, said if I asked me if I'd come back in the fall and work with the throwers, with the track team in weightlifting. And I don't know for sure, but I might have been either the first or one of the first track and field strength coaches. It just the problem we were having by 1979 is that Arnold, the education of a bodybuilder, pumping iron, not long from jogging. There was a bunch of books about jogging that all spoke negatively about weightlifting. So there was no appropriate template for track and field anymore. For track and field, you just do the Olympic lifts and you do the power lifts and you're done. I mean, but what was happening is people started doing bodybuilding workouts and going for the burn, doing the Jane Fonda high rep stuff and all that crap, all those, how people think a movie star is an expert on body composition always has amazed me. But yeah, and so there was this vacuum in the late 1970s. I've got a lot of magazines from like the 1960s and 50s where they were really heading in a good direction in the weight room, and then bodybuilding just kind of took over. And we are still struggling now, 41, 42 years later, we're still struggling in sports, trying to get the bodybuilding mindset out of the weight room.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with bodybuilding. But who cares how good your team looks? When England played Italy for the Euro Cup, they didn't have a flex off, right?
Yeah.
They just they played soccer football and had some fun,
Yeah, that's right. Okay. That takes me to the next question about fundamental human moments which you preach. So, okay, could you explain what are these fundamental human moments and why, making sure everybody train, like for if a person trains this moments, that will take care of their training regimen. Why do you think so?
Well, that's just my experience. I mean, I break it down to push, pull, hinge, squat, loaded carry. Push is separation from the environment. It can be an opponent. It can be the press family. Pulling is embracing the environment. Like in wrestling, it could be your opponent, or it could be a tree, or it could be a pull-up bar, or or a barbell. Hinge is the most powerful thing a human can do. Squatting is a thing you should do every day. It's a very important movement for mobility, flexibility, and and bowel movements. And then loaded carries are what I use to increase work capacity. So when you combine push and pull, you take care of most of the upper body stuff. I mean, honestly, if you just, did monkey bars or climbed ladders, you'd probably get the bulk of the work that you would ever need upper body. Hinging, you'll get that naturally by jumping. Squatting, you'll get that by eating fiber. And loaded carries is how you would get things around in a camp. And so it is how we humans what's how we adapted to deal with our specific needs. Now, certainly we as humans earlier in our history, we figured out, besides fire, we also figured out, spears and throwing objects. We figured out how to sprint and climb trees. We're not as good as a bear in climbing trees. We're not as fast as a bear. But when you put a spear in our hands, the bear will back off. So we have a unique skill set that a lot of other animals don't have. We're the only animal that actually needs to train. Well, I guess racehorses need to train. But other than that, there's really very few. You don't see dolphins doing workouts, Okay, dolphins, let's go wind sprints, dolphin time, or, you don't see great white sharks, worrying about their waistline, We're unique. We're unique in that way. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And as far as I have come across about your work, like you don't suggest running, is that true? Or
Say what?
run? You don't suggest running in anybody's training program, is that true?
No,
Like,
that's not true at all. That's not true at all. I don't run and my throwers don't run.
how is it? Okay.
Yeah, we sprint, and we pull
And
sleds, and we
the
run hills. Yeah, and prowlers. But yeah, running. Well, the joke in my family is, ask me if I run. Ask me if I run.
do you run then?
From what?
From yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, as a thrower, as a fighter, yeah, of course we run. I mean, if your sport needs running, you run.
Yeah.
But if your sport doesn't need running, I think walking and hill sprints would probably be the best formula for most people.
Yes.
It's real hard to get hurt running up hills. So if you walked and every time you came to a hill, just kind of, explosively went up it, you'd be in pretty damn good shape.
Yeah. So you can train the cardiorespiratory system through these things, you're saying essentially.
Well, right now I'm training my cardio system.
Yeah.
My heart is beating and my lungs are breathing, so I am training right now. I don't think, I've run 10Ks on bets and 5Ks on bets, and I've done just fine. But, honestly, my brothers were all runners. So, I understand track and field very well. I understand running very well. The mistake most people make is that, well, Charlie Francis, the great sprint coach from Canada, told me one time at a meeting up in just an hour north of here. He said the biggest mistake you make is that your highs get too low and your lows get too high, and you turn everything into medium. And so personally, I'd rather people walk, which is low, and walk and walk and walk, and then sprint up a hill, which is high. But I don't like the medium when it comes to cardiovascular training. I'd rather have your heart. For most of the time, I would never want to see your heart rate get over 150. Like, go for 2 or 3 or 4 hours at 140. Okay, but every so often we would try to just get you as high as we physically can for a short amount of period to train the bandwidth of the heart.
Yeah.
I don't like medium at all. Yeah.
Medium. All right. So when you said walk as well, it is the loaded carries, right? Not just walking, is it?
It can't, well, it depends. It depends on what your goal is and where you need to be with your heart rate.
Yeah.
My age, my heart rate, I mean, it's stunning how low my heart rate has to be to get an aerobic impact at my age now. I mean, 115 beats a minute is a good place for me to be. 105 is good. So if I just take a little, if I go like the last week I was in Twickenham, I averaged about 6 miles a day walking.
Mhm.
And the bulk of the time I just walked. I wasn't exercising. I went to a park. I wandered around a place. I discovered something called Asperol or something like that. I
What's
have,
that?
what is that?
What's that? Aspirant.
Yeah, Asperol, some drink you guys drink over there. I don't know if I'll ever have it again. It was interesting. It was an herbal beer. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not judging. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Um, I just kind of walked around, and then in the mornings I would snatch, clean and jerk, and front squat. You know, so so I was playing with both ends of the power law, very intensive Olympic lifting, 6 miles of walking, and you know what? I felt pretty darn good, and that's uh, if I'm preparing, and I am preparing myself for an Olympic lifting meet in November. I need to. If I start jogging, that's going to destroy my ankles. It'll make my knees hurt. It'll make my back hurt. But if I walk 5 or 6, miles, right? Is miles okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So if I walk 3, 4, 5, 6 miles, and and I walk, and as you walk, you get that spring in every time I walk, I get my spine gets that nice tonic movement. That
Yeah.
springy spine movement. I don't. I finish my walk with my back feeling better. I finish my walk. I burn the calories. By the way, walking 6 miles and running 6 miles burns up the exact same number of calories.
Is it?
Yeah,
So,
unless you. I mean, well, that actually, and it's true. I mean, it's true as we can say in our business.
yeah. Can be.
Yeah.
No.
So, but if I walk 6 miles, I'm not broken like if I ran 6 miles.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then I snatch and clean and jerk and front squat. There you go. So,
Yeah. Cool. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. So, and talking about your nutrition and recovery strategies, what is your nutrition and recovery strategies?
well, there's nothing new. I mean,
Yeah.
eat protein, eat vegetables, drink water. I mean, if you can't handle that, I don't know if I'm a big believer that you should strive for 8 different vegetables every day. As soon as we hang up, I went to the Korean market today, and I've got I mean, I've got 7 or 8 different vegetables I'm going to have as just a little snack. Um, I think you should eat a plethora of different vegetables every day. I strive for 8, but I wouldn't mind hearing if you ate 14 or 20 different vegetables every day. The only thing I really have discovered recently, and I wish I'd have known, I'd heard about it, I never respected it, fermented foods. That would be sauerkraut, kimchi. Every tradition has them. Beer is fermented, wine is fermented, coffee is
Mhm.
fermented, yogurt, kefir. From your family tradition, what are some fermented foods that you would eat?
Curd? Is it
Say,
curd? Yogurt? No.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yogurt, whatever. Yeah,
Yogurt, buttermilk we have. I think
yeah.
so. Is it,
When
yeah.
I was in Okinawa, I ate fermented sweet potatoes, which
Mhm.
fabulous.
Yeah.
The thing about fermented food is that it really helps your your gut
Mm-hmm.
your gut biome, and that would be the biggest thing that's changed for me in the last year or two. Um, every day I eat kimchi. Every day I strive to eat fermented foods every single day.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay.
And
That's fine.
I mean, I've lost 16 or 17 kilos since January 1st. So, and the only
Oh,
nutritional change, besides I cut way back on alcohol, but I started eating kimchi twice a day.
oh, is it? Yeah. Even I wanted to ask you, you lost so much weight. What's the reason?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Well, the reason, no, hang on. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
The reason is because I have 3 grandchildren and I want to be around for them.
Oh, okay.
So the reason is the grandchildren. The how is Olympic lifting, walking, and kimchi.
Oh, that makes clear. Yeah. And about the recovery strategies, do you do any cold water showers or ice baths and stuff?
I would say the most important one is sleep, and I think you're crazy if you don't stop there for a minute. If you don't say sleep,
Yeah.
then get serious about it. Most people say sleep, and their hands wave like, yeah, sleep. I think that's a big mistake. One of the things I've been doing recently is when I wake up in the morning, I put on my earphones and then I do my meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I shifted to mornings is because I was falling asleep a lot of the time when I was meditating. And the issue there is if you fall asleep when you're meditating, that all it says is that you're tired. And I got issues with naps. I got no, or, if you have to sleep 10 hours a night because you're an athlete, I got no issues with that. I got no issues if you have to take 2 naps a day. However, I think there's value in meditation. Um, I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to get too crazy, but I think practicing meditation makes you a better writer, a better parent, better grandparent, a better I won't say person. Certainly, and the other thing it also teaches me is that I can control where I'm at mentally. So it would be sleep and then meditation. I have a sauna right there. I have a sauna right there and right next to my office. I don't sauna as often as I will in the winter. Winter is sauna time for me. I have an electric massage bed in that room over there called a Megan bed. And the only problem with the Megan bed is that the settings are like for 45 minutes, but there is one that only goes 20. So, but it's this machine that massage. It goes up and down. The thing I like the best is the ones that go over your calves. I love the part, but then there's balls, these heated balls that go right straight down your spine. So it's a spinal rector, glute, trap, inner lats, neck massager. Yeah, I like cold. One of the things is when the research came out that cold water immersion at a biological level had the same results as saunas, my thought was, I'll sauna without, there's no heroic. I mean, I'll just get in the damn sauna. But for me to take an ice bath, that takes it really does calm me. I mean, I have to really go, okay. And I don't necessarily want to do that anymore,
Yeah, it's tough to take. Even I tried the Wim Hof cold showers. I've never done an ice bath. And I was surprised when you talked about meditation. I only heard from your interviews about one moment meditation. I'm surprised you started a meditation routine as well. Because even I have started. What, sorry?
No, I still use the one moment. Yeah, I use the one moment. Here it is right there. Hang on. There's the one moment meditation. I still use that. For example, whenever I have to wait for something, like if I'm at any car related or medical related or waiting for a movie to start, I'll do a one moment meditation right then. It takes 1 minute, and it just calms you down, especially if there's an issue with the car or something like, it stops you from turning into an asshole, and that's good for everybody, especially me.
Yeah. What does your meditation routine looks like then? Like
Me?
how long is it? And do you concentrate on your breath?
Well, I use brain.fm, and they just give me a variation. Usually it's there's a couple. My favorite one, the one I use on planes, I've downloaded that one. It's a breathing meditation, but I don't mind some variety. The interesting thing is, whenever I have a British man on the guiding the meditation, I always fall asleep, and it makes me sad. Makes me sad for British women.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. All right. So, and then you talk about the work, rest, play, pray principle. Can you just elaborate about that for our viewers, please?
Well, that's from my second grade teacher, Sister Maria Sumta. But basically, the idea is that you got to have balance in your life: work, rest, play, and pray. And pray can be a lot of things, and I would include meditation. But when you find yourself drifting too far in any of those four compasses, degrees, north, south, east, west, your quality of life starts to go down. And if all you do is work and ignore everything else, pretty soon you're going to be a crappy person to be around. So what I consciously do is whenever I decide to do something a little bit harder, like I'm going to go get ready for this weightlifting meet, then I think about, okay, how can I make my life a little bit more fun, or how can I get more, I need to I'll have to meditate more. I'll have to sorry. Someone's just talking outside my door. It was really strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just the idea of being proactive about balance.
Yeah. Balancing everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Being
walking.
proactive. You think about it before you do something. Hey, my dog's here. Come here.
Yeah. Sirius Black.
Yep, yep.
Hi. Hello.
Say hi. Say hi.
How old is
Oh,
he?
woo, his breath is bad. Oh my, what did you eat? It's okay. I'm not mad. All right.
Okay. So yeah. So working out comes in the work or play thing.
For me,
For
well, for
yeah.
me, for me, where I like to work out, so it's nothing to me. I mean, I guess since I have so much fun working out, um, but I consciously make sure I have fun. I also plan in 2 very, very easy days a week. I mean, so 2 of my workouts are just mobility and flexibility,
Mhm.
and so those are built-in rest days. Even though I'm in the gym, I'm not working very hard. So I think there's some wisdom in taking your time there. Wisdom is a hard thing. There's a high price tag on wisdom. You have to earn it.
Yeah. So for training 5 days should be good for most of them. Is it right?
5
Training
days?
week. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I go Olympic lift and walk, stretching, mobility and walk, Olympic lift and walk, stretching, mobility and walk, Olympic lifting and walk. And then the other 2 days are just whatever. It doesn't matter. I might take the dog for a walk. I might go for a bike ride. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm
So
down to 3. I just lift 3 days a week right now. Yeah.
yeah. So the walk is right after the workout, is it?
The walk is while I'm still breathing hard. So
Oh.
like today, I'm experimenting with doing clean and press right before my walk. And I was breathing pretty hard when I started my walk. So according to Rusty Moore, that's how you eat the free fatty acids. You release them in the weight room and then you eat them on the walk.
Oh.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it's working well for me, so I'm not going to argue with it.
Yeah. Sure. And can you just can you explain about easy strength, please, and how does it work?
Well, I don't know how it works, except it's like how you learn how to type on a typewriter, or how you learn. It's just repetition. But in fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. I just came out with a new course today over at Dan John University. So it's on advanced methods of the easy strength ideas. Easy strength, you pick 5 exercises and that's what you do for the next 40 workouts.
Yeah.
And it's that easy. And the pushback I get is that few people have ever actually tried it. I've had people do it that didn't even think it would work, and actually those people are the biggest fans. I think the best lifts to pick are a vertical press, a vertical pull, a hinge, maybe something like a ab wheel, and then kettlebell swing, and then go for a walk. Or for me, I do snatch, clean and jerk. Well, today I did snatch, front squat, clean and press, go for a walk. you know. And you don't do a lot of reps. For most people, it's 2 sets of 5. So 2 sets of 5 in military press, 2 sets of 5 in the pull-up, 2 sets of 5 in the rack deadlift. Do a set of ab wheels, jump up and do 5 sets of 15 in the swing, and then walk out the door. You know, it's that, and you just keep doing that for 40 straight days. And you just, if the weights feel light, you add weight. And if they feel heavy, go lighter. And I can't explain it any better than that except to do it. Though, you know, if you do listen to if you take my courses, I explain it a lot better than that. But the truth is, that's basically just what it is. That's it. And if you take it too seriously, you'll get lost. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Maybe it's the neural training which is happening, which I learned in the masters.
I agree that it's the neurological changes, but then there is a hormonal cascade that happens because the load gets big. Do you know pounds or kilos?
Kilos.
Okay. So the first time I did this program, my best incline bench was 135. And on day 22, I did 145 for a double without a single hard workout ever. Some of the numbers that I've improved on are freakish. They're just freakish improvements. And it's just so it's a very old way of training that's been lost by, you know, it's the way people used to train before all the BS.
Yeah.
It's just the way people used to train. And it got lost because anabolic steroids and bodybuilding. And that's it right there. Both of those reasons.
Yeah.
It's the right way to train, but it's going to be real hard to argue with Mr. Olympia flexing, you know.
Yeah. But I'm sure the athletes are training like that now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once you get them to overcome the BS, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I've been a huge fan of your books and videos. I've picked up a lot of things from your videos into my life. I use it in my life. So one of the things is pirate maps and shark habits, which has really helped. You know, it's like until you do some for example, I do a to-do list in the morning. Until I do that, I'll be anxious. So when I do it, I finish the habit like a shark, I'll be happy. So that has helped me really a lot in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So shark habit is one bite and it's gone. You know, I'm wearing a black shirt right now. I didn't think about it when I put it on this morning because that's what I wear. You know, shark habits is any decision that is binary, yes or no. You know, just choose and then be done with it. Don't think about it anymore. And then the pirate map is this idea that every single day you're going to do 3, 5, or 8 things every single day, every day, and you're just going to keep building them up. Really, easy strength and pirate maps are the exact same thing. You know, I got it right over there. Right over there, there's a little, I don't know what you call it. It's a notepad, and it's my to-do list for today. Right there. It's right there. And then
so you do it.
And then the next thing, I mean, I lift. It's my pirate map. Lift weights 3 days a week. You know, followed by a walk and eat vegetables every day. Eat kimchi every day. It's that simple. And people keep asking me, how did I lose 16, 17 kilos in a year? And I show them right back here. Okay, my computer's right here. On the back of it is my pirate map. And I look at my pirate map every day, and it's so boring. But if you just do that every single day, when July rolls around, after you're down 17 kilos without really working that hard.
Yeah. Does it work for the hard stuff also? Like not for example, I have a different goal in my professionally. Does it? I'm sure it works.
Well, I don't know what your goal is. Let's say like it's to write a book.
Yeah.
You do a little bit every single day in a book. It's very easy. You know, when I did my first act, well, I wouldn't want to call it a book. It was my thesis. I decided to write a paragraph a day. One paragraph, you know, There you go. There's your boom. There's your paragraph. That's how much I wrote. Okay, boom.
Yeah.
That just that. And then after about after a month, I had 30 paragraphs. After 5 months, I had 150 paragraphs. After 6 months, my thesis basically was done. I just
Yeah.
put in some transition sentences, and then shuffle a few paragraphs, up and down. I was done. The professor said, "How'd you do it so fast?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." And now I look back and go, "Well, I just pirate mapped a thesis. That's all, a dissertation. It's easy."
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. I think this is about.
And if you don't feel like, like today, you don't feel like writing, well, write. Just find that's just blah. Find a paragraph that's just not sexy at all. Just
Yeah.
the dates paragraph. On August 1st, 1922, Sirius Black, Sirius Black walked up a hill and found molasses on the side of the road. And you finish that, and okay, that's done. Funny thing is once you've written those 5 sentences,
Yeah.
you might find yourself writing 5 more.
Yeah. That's
And then,
true.
and now you've done 10. It's taking you 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and when you add that up over 2 months, you're like, damn, this is the easiest thing I ever did.
Yeah. True. 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 Thanks for that. Yeah. And yeah, and we were talking about your black T-shirt. I mean, you were telling. So why do you wear the same T-shirt and jeans trouser always? Like I know Mark Zuckerberg also was doing the same thing. Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. Why do you do that?
You seriously don't know? Yeah, because you don't have to think.
Yeah, to
If
reduce decision making.
No one cares what I wear. No one cares what you wear. Nobody cares. This whole industry of fashion, their whole job is to make people think that somehow they're out of step. Man, I go to breakfast wearing this clothes. I've never had anybody at the place I go say, "My God, you're wearing the same." No one cares.
Yeah.
The only thing they care about is when their car breaks down. I'm the guy who goes over and helps them out, fixes the tire. My granddaughter has a flat tire. My daughter asked me to take care of it. I took care of it. When we had this big storm hit and all the trees got knocked down in the neighborhood. I worked probably 60 hours in 3 days helping my neighbors make their houses safe. Not one of my neighbors said to me, "Oh, look, you're wearing a black shirt."
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no one cares about what you wear. They care about what's inside your heart.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
When did you make that decision to wear the same things? Like, was it long back?
Well, I went to Catholic school and we had a uniform, and at my school there was never not a uniform. You always
Oh,
had to just. And then when I went to public school, I noticed what a pain in the butt it was to put on clothes every day. In hindsight, I was already starting to merge to. I used to wear jeans and t-shirts every day, and basically it's exactly what I wear now that I'm a
okay. That's,
64-year-old man. Yeah.
yeah, takes saves a lot of our brains,
Yeah.
But
Oh,
just
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And about how should youth athletes and youth non-athletes approach training?
Well, they should just be exposed. I mean, they should know every sport and every game they can possibly learn.
Mhm.
I know that, where you are in England, there is kind of a class system with sports, right? Um, you know,
I've recently moved to England,
what was
so
that?
I've recently moved to England. I don't know much about
Well,
the
I
school
mean,
sport.
cricket is cricket and rugby are certain, but everybody should know how to play cricket. Everyone should, if you're in England, everyone should know how to play rugby. Everyone should know how to play football. You should be exposed to swimming and track and field or athletics. Yeah, just exposed. Learn as many sports as you can because you never know what sport you're going to excel in. You just don't. You just don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like, what age kids can start weightlifting? So since this is a school video as well.
Well, if they're just learning technique, they can probably start with 7 or 8, but you probably wouldn't want to really start taking it serious until 12 or 13. But they should learn calisthenics, and they should learn the etiquette of barbells and gyms, and they should know how to do a clean and a squat as early as you can, because then the at the same way, you want kids to be able to read all kinds of books, expose them to different, we read when I was in school, we read The Hound of Baskervilles. Oh, and the one with the snake. With the adder. That's out of my head. The Speckled Band. So we didn't read all of Sherlock Holmes, but we read The Speckled Band and The Hound of Baskervilles, a shorter story and a longer story. Well, that's how we learned to read detective novels. Well, we didn't read, detective novels with sex and real violence in it. That was later, So I want you to learn how to clean and squat and press, but I don't necessarily want you to, break world records or anything,
Yeah, learn all the skills and stuff like that. All right. And you talk about what weight training standards in some videos of yours. So I was not entirely sure about it. What are the weight training standards for different lifts? And is it different for different athletes and population depending on their goal?
Yeah, this is I don't want to go into this. It's too complex for a short. If you to just start in the beginning with this one question, it's really elaborate and takes a long time.
Okay.
Basically, the best standard you can have is press your body weight, snatch your body weight, and clean and jerk 10 kilos over your body weight. That's the best standard. If you can do those, you're strong enough. But there's just too. I've got too many. If you just Google my name, Dan John, and type in Dan John Sleepless in Seattle, I give you all of them. So there's just too many numbers. Okay.
Sure, no problem. Thanks. Yeah. And what do you like? Is it recording? Yes, sir. So, and what do you, what courses do you suggest strength and conditioning coaches to do, and what are the thing? What is the advice from your 50 years of experience?
Well, you should be able to Olympic lift. You should be able to power lift. I would even say you should compete in an Olympic lifting meet, just so you understand what it takes mentally to do it. I think you should know kettlebells because it's a good tool. You should have some background in tumbling, some background in gymnastics. You should know calisthenics. Obviously, that's pretty simple, though. You should have some appreciation of nutrition, some appreciation of recovery, because you'll get asked those questions every day and every way. You should know first aid, second aid, pretty well, because you'll be doing a lot of it. And then I would suggest strongly that you play sports, or even if you just volunteer to coach, so you understand the needs. If that's not where you want to go into, volunteer at a geriatric, an old folks home, and get a sense of things there. I think you need to work a lot with normal populations to be a good strength and conditioning coach, because you're going to learn a lot from normal populations. You're going to learn a lot of things about how people move. And the problem is, if you're working around athletes all the time, they learn too quickly. I mean, they'll just shrug their shoulders and say, "Is this what you want? It's perfect." Where a normal population, that's just not true, man. Yes, they just don't get it, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those are the big hints. Yeah.
yeah. And what about UKSC or NSCA, which is a good accreditation according to you?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a big believer in accreditations. I'm a big believer. I like degrees. I like actual academic degrees. I teach certs, and I understand why you would want a certification, but I'm kind of old school. I'd much rather you take a course, an actual course on anatomy, an actual course on biomechanics, versus just some, read a chapter and check the boxes. What you guys say? Tick the boxes, yeah. I'm not a big believer in ticking the boxes as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think it takes a while to figure it out. Now, some people are born to coach, and it's going to be easier for them. And some people are going to have to, do a lot more work. But that's just the nature of everything, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And recently in the Olympics, India hasn't made so well compared to other countries. I know. I think you might not be aware of the conditions of India, but what can be done to improve the medal tally for India at
Well,
all?
what's the national sport of India?
It's hockey, but hockey and cricket, we can say.
Okay. But you guys are very good at hockey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, if you go to an American university, everybody who plays hockey on the men's side is almost always Indian.
Ah, the,
So your national sports hockey. So, Jamaica, it's sprinting.
mm,
And here in the United States, it's not Olympic sports. So, um, whatever the sport that every single kid wants to be when they grow up, that's where you're going to be good at.
mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
it's just, I mean, you need. So you guys, India has almost 1 billion people right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you got enough people to figure out how to get good. You just have to make sure there's a pipeline for sports. But you
Mm,
have to make a decision. I mean, Indian track and field used to be very good. Indian weightlifting used to be very good. You just
mm-hmm.
have to choose to make sure, you're supporting the athletes. And I mean, I don't have an answer to why or why not. What part of
Sure.
India are you from?
I'm from South India, Bangalore.
Okay. So which languages do you speak?
I speak Kannada. It's a South Indian language. It's the local language, Kannada, and my mother tongue is Tulu. Yeah, it's another local language. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Up on my gym wall, I had Tamil.
Tamil. Yeah.
Yeah, someone that came in and wrote "Never Let Go" for me in Tamil.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, the South. Let's see. That's it's higher, right? The Deccan Plateau. It's a plateau. Do you say
Yeah,
Deccan or Deccan?
Deccan. Yeah.
Deccan Plateau. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very famous. Lots of history down there. Man, lots of history. Yeah.
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 So, could we talk about your academic journey? How has it been? And why did you choose religious studies?
Oh, I don't know if I choose. That's when I was young, I didn't want to go fight for the United States military, so I decided try to make it as an athlete. So I would go to schools and just get a degree and whatever inch I have degrees in paralegal, political science, history, religious studies,
Mm-hmm.
labor relations. Uh, 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 yeah, I've traveled all over. I I really like I like studying sacred scripture.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Rig Veda,
Oh.
Bible, Beowulf. I had a really great background in source material. So yeah, so I just yeah, I had a professor in college. He was a Brahmin,
Yeah.
but he was also a former discus and hammer thrower too.
Oh, wow.
So when I was at Utah State, I would come in, and he would say, "I'm going to have this. I'm going to just try to imitate him." He would say, Mr. John," and he would tell me about throwing the discus, and he would get so excited because I was a discus thrower taking philosophy classes, and he thought that was wonderful. Yeah.
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 That's nice. That's nice. Okay. So, any important, like we were talking about, I switched that thought about Indian.
Well, one of my students at St. Mary's is from India, and he said that the problem is the rich kids play like tennis.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids who are the ball boys are the ones that end up, the kids who work for the tennis place are the ones who became the great tennis players. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so all the money's getting poured into the rich kids. This is what a student told me, who don't want to be there. And the kids who want to be there aren't rewarded. So that's a system I can't fix. I'm not going to fix. I'm not going to fix one of the oldest cultures in the world with my knowledge. Hey, I only have a few.
Please, important book recommendations for young people.
In strength and conditioning.
Yeah, and general as well, general in life as well, both.
Well, all my books. So yeah, buy my books. Oh, I don't know. There's a lot I can think of. Yeah, we're a real. I mean, I don't know if you could see, but I've got a pretty rich library. Just in This is just one part of my house. I have a whole much more books there, and then I've got an entire other library in there. So, but the most important thing is that you do yourself a favor and read a whole variety of strength and conditioning books. People keep sending me these 12-week makeover books, these bodybuilding things where you do leg extension and leg curls and shit like that. And I can't stand it anymore. I would say Marty Gallagher's Purposeful Primitive might be a book that I think everyone, if you want to be a strength coach, you should read that. Now he's a storyteller, but I think it's marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can find by John Jesse, Jessee, I think is marvelous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of books. I don't know. Oh, Tommy Kono's books, weight
Yeah.
Olympic style.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Every time I read that book, I sit back and go, why didn't I pay attention to this? Why didn't I not listen to Tommy? Yeah.
One book for general success in life,
For general success,
please.
yeah. Yeah, I don't, you might hate it, you may like it, but it's this book
Yeah,
here.
it's like Jan steps. Oh, all
Called
right.
Giant Steps by Anthony Robbins. And basically it's 365 little notes. And I like it a lot. I mean, if you can, I don't agree with everything in the book, but I like it for general success. And then if you go on to YouTube, I would recommend listening to Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field, which
Oh,
changed my life completely.
yeah. All right. Sure. All right then.